you've already kind of looked at position groupings and some of the people in this. Take us through your position rankings, position grouping rankings for the NFL draft. And I know you wrote an article about it.
Yeah, let's start right at the top with number one, wide receiver. I mean, people that know me and that know my stuff know I am very skill position oriented. I love talking about skill players all the time. And to me, this wide receiver class, if it's not generational, it's pretty close because you have right at the top Marvin Harrison Jr., who might be the most talented player, where the only reason he's not going to go number one or probably even in the top three is simply because he doesn't play quarterback. That's pretty much it. Then you got two other top 10 guys in Washington's Rome Odunze and LSU's Malik Neighbors, who should be top 10 guys. And you look up and down the draft board, top 50, top 75, top 100. Receivers can go all over the place. I mean, I don't exactly have the number of how many of those guys can go up there, but it's staggering just how good that group is. Now, obviously, you can go to my post on cleveland.com to look at all these positions. I'll spotlight a couple others. Quarterback number 2, obviously, Caleb Williams and Drake May. Feels like we've been talking about them forever. As you know, 1 and 2 just depends on your personal preference almost, who you like 1 and 2, whether you like, the more prototypical dual threat type guy, or if you want a guy who has a chance, who looks and plays a lot like Patrick Mahomes. Whether it'll be as good as Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, but the tools are there with him. And then you have a third guy in Jaden Daniels, who won the Heisman this year, just a sensational dual threat quarterback. He probably could go number 3 out the board, depending on what happens there with the New England Patriots. Then I'll go into kind of the big risers of the position groups. Offensive tackle number 3. It's a great year to need offensive linemen. Joe Olaf, Fashanu are going to be top 10 guys. And, top 2 rounds, even with offensive tackles, going to be very good. There's a lot of good players in there as well. Another good group that's on the rise, defensive tackle. Another one the Browns need. Jerjon Newton from Illinois looks like the most likely guy. Then after him, you got a bunch of other interesting players. Tavondre Swen, Byron Murphy from Texas, Michigan's Chris Jenkins. They're going to go within the first 2 rounds. If they don't go in round number 1, for example, that I think is a group that to me has took the biggest rise from 2023 to 2024. And that's even with the presence of Jalen Carter last year, who was arguably the most talented player in the entire draft, fell all the way to 9th overall. There's no Jalen Carter in this draft, but defensive tackle is just much stronger this year than it was last year.